Okay, guys, I'm going to go see War of the Rohirrim later this afternoon, despite all the warning signs that are out there. It looks pretty bad, looks like a slog on every level, which is really too bad because the director they chose, who is doing the animation on all this, is the guy who did Ghost in the Shell, a bunch of the stuff on that, and it's excellent. And so it is going to be the plot and the strong female lead and the bastardization of Tolkien's lore by branding it as a skin suit, which really destroys this movie. And that is the problem with this. The writers are as important as directors and are as important as actors. This is what filmmaking is. But you see right now, the producer, Philippa Boyens, who hired the people to do this, who actually was the one behind most of the talk on this and actually was behind the twisting of Tolkien's lore, says she attempts to defend her destroying of Tolkien's lore by, we can't ruin Tolkien's books. In some ways, she's right, but they're really going to give it the good old college try here. And this is what we're seeing this weekend. So please smash that like and subscribe button. Join us here. We're getting close to 50,000 subscribers. Thanks to fantasy fans like you. Really appreciate you for being here. I do love Tolkien's books. I've read them multiple times. I have a leather-bound version of it. I actually I started a TikTok to book talk yesterday. And I was showing off my leather-bound Lord of the Rings yesterday. But that's aside from that. I don't know if that's a good idea to be over there. Let me know if you think that is. We're going to try it anyway. But I'm an author, and this is my fantasy series. It is The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. We keep getting #1 bestseller because of people like you. You're great readers. Really appreciate you for being there. This is a great all-ages sort of deal. It's a 6-book series. A lot to enjoy. It's all up on ebook, print, and audio for your convenience, and it's in the description below. So check this out. It's about an airship crew going and questing, fighting monsters. Lots of fun. Like I said, good fun for the whole family, and nothing weird about it. And it's actually got a good female protagonist that I think is like a good role model for actual girls, rather than like the War of the Rohirrim. I could do a comparison, but I will not bore you with that. Let's talk about what the actual. You guys can read it for yourselves. Let's talk about what the actual producer said here on this instead. So Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim producer Philippa Boyens attempted to defend her desecration of Tolkien's lore in the film by claiming she and the people who worked on the film can't ruin Tolkien's books. Oh my gosh. In an interview with IGN, Boyens stated, Professor Tolkien stated in his letters that the most compelling story is the untold story. Okay. Well, this one's now told, War of the Rohirrim, and it's not very compelling. So that doesn't help your case right there at all. She also added, we don't do anything to those books. This is correct, and they can't do anything to those books. This is very, very true. They would love to, by the way. I am sure they would love to rewrite Lord of the Rings, bastardize it, change it. Well, we've seen it with a lot of things in lore where they've twisted different things and changed them. You get Pride and Prejudice and zombies, kind of stupid things like that. They're usually just considered just really popcorny schlock. But this is exactly what this is. This is the exact same thing, kind of. It is a twisting of the work to try to make your own thing and just use the brand for some marketing real quick. And it didn't work. I mean, from what I'm seeing, the box office results early in are very, very poor for this. People are not coming in on this movie whatsoever. She says, those books are going to stand as these masterpieces, hopefully till the end of time. Yeah, I agree. So why are you doing this, right? We can't ruin them, despite trying. This is really weird. I mean, what a weird take right here. Because she almost tacitly admits by saying this that what she does is a ruining of the Tolkien world. It just doesn't actually impact the books. And it's like, why would you go out ahead of your movie, like right as it's coming out, marketing like this? Like, you're going to attempt to ruin them, but you just can't do it. And so your film's just going to suck. That is the impression that this statement leaves. Am I wrong on this? It seems like it is. So people who come at you saying, oh, you ruined this or ruined that. No, all we did was presented you with an adaptation of this work. Oh my gosh, this is really passive aggressive and angry right here. This woman really does hate the fact that she took a Tolkien work, didn't actually adapt it, by the way, didn't actually do honor to the work whatsoever. People called her out on it, and then she's trying to defend it like this. This is really a bad sign. Now I'm really not looking forward to going see this afternoon. I wasn't anyway, but my gosh, this is scary. Wow. And this is some of the worst interviews I've ever seen. I mean, this is crazy Hollywood meltdown right before a film even comes out. And some people will come to it and relate to it. Some people won't. And sometimes that criticism is justified. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, this is interesting right here, because is this one of those instances where it's justified? She doesn't really elaborate on that. You might notice by what's not said here, it's actually more important than what she actually is said. Because yes, she can't ruin Tolkien, but that doesn't mean she isn't trying. And that doesn't mean that War of Rohirrim actually does make a quality adaptation. That doesn't mean that the criticism is invalid here. It is justified, and she kind of knows it. This is like her admitting that there's a massive problem with this film as it's about to come out. Nevertheless, she also explains why they decided to completely eschew the books. What I think you'll see unfold, hopefully, because this is where we work from, is that just don't change something arbitrarily. If we're going to change something, we do it for good storytelling reasons. And we bring anything you bring to it, make it feel real, make it feel authentic. So they changed a lot, though. Very interesting here. Make sure you know what that reason is and that it's a good storytelling reason and why you're having to make that change. If you're adding, make it as authentic as you possibly can make it. So we just didn't draw upon Eowyn for Hera. We drew upon women from early English history that Tolkien himself would have been familiar with. So they just made up their entire lore situation right here. I mean, it's very weird. This is strange. There's nothing woke about this, guys, if you're out there. Okay. This very, very obvious. She sees what the criticism is in advance of this, and she's trying to get out there. I wonder if she watched my videos on this. Very interesting. It's an interesting piece of storytelling, even if you just follow the bare threads that are in the book. That's because it starts out huge and quite epic. Interesting. So it is bare threads in the book, because in the appendix that this is based upon, this is about an unnamed character that like doesn't really exist. It's like one sentence worth of things, and she just extrapolates this entire weird situation out of it that has nothing to do with Tolkien whatsoever. That's kind of the main criticism of this right here. And then she talks about it being an adaptation. Very, very weird. Tolkien didn't just write books. He wrote an entire mythology, a vast, incredible work. Yes, so detailed, so complex, and works with so many different layers. And you can just leave it alone and not touch it, but he himself did not want that. He said he wanted other minds to come to it, bringing music and art and drama to it. So he had a sense of that at some stage, because he knew what myths is, and it cannot be immutable. Now, this is all correct, which makes this even more bizarre, because you look at something like this and you look at Rings of Power and you're like, there is so much mythology there. Why don't they just do that? Why don't they just follow what Tolkien wrote as a blueprint and then extrapolate upon it, rather than create something different and new and strong female leady that doesn't make any sense whatsoever given the context of the world? For some reason, they just like can't take their own advice. It's like I'm like pulling out my hair watching this interview right here. It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. It's unclear where she gets this claim from, where Tolkien wanted other minds to come to his work. This is true. In letter 131 to Milton Waldman, he was rather blunt. It's not possible at great length to pot Lord of the Rings in a paragraph or two. It was begun in 1936. Every part has been written many times. Hardly a word in its 600,000 more has been unconsidered. And this placing, style, size, and contribution of the whole features, incidents, and chapters has been laboriously pondered. I do not say this in recommendation. It is, I feel, only too likely that I am deluded, lost in a web of vain imaginings. Not much value to others. Not much value to others. In spite of the fact that a few readers have found it good, on the whole, what I intend to say is this: I cannot sustainably alter the thing. I have finished it. It is off my mind. The labor has been colossal. It must stand or fall practically as it is. To the point that she or anyone else cannot ruin it, it's likely true, albeit we've already seen publishers attempting to insert woke edits into the classic books. This is happening in real time, and we're seeing it not just in Lord of the Rings. They are putting out different versions of books that are changing what the authors are writing out there and then releasing them out to the public, pretending that they're the same. You've seen this with stuff like Mark Twain's work and the like. It is happening, guys, and they are trying to erase what people actually wrote in an effort to make modern culture its own thing. And this is definitely a situation where that is. And it's really weird that like everything she said here is like a lie, a projection, just complete outright like understanding what's going on and knowing she screwed up. Like, I don't think this bodes well whatsoever. Regardless, I am going to see this afternoon, as I said. I will be publishing a full review on my thoughts of it on the channel tomorrow. We'll see how it stands as on its own and as a reflection of Lord of the Rings, just from its various elements. I am a professional writer, and I will analyze it from that perspective to see how this goes. And that's what we do for you, my friends, the sacrifices we make. Press F in the chat. to show respects for my loss this afternoon. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. What do you think about this? I mean, she is right that she can't ruin Lord of the Rings, but gosh, seems to me like she's trying. Hit the like and subscribe button, my friends. Get us to 50,000 subscribers, and make sure to check out My Fantasy if you like my takes here. You'll probably enjoy this. It's good for all ages, like I said. It's in the description below. 6-book series, and thank you so much for reading, everybody. We'll be back soon.